Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Dr. Shahzad Latif, Assistant Professor of Medicine. Today we will discuss regarding history of patient with diabetes mellitus. Overall, we have already completed all the lecture regarding curriculum of third year. So for the addition, we added 4-5 lecture for diabetes mellitus because every patient, every third or fourth patient having a diabetes and with other complaint, you must know how to take a history of patient with diabetes mellitus. So it's very important for student aspect to take it, should be very skilled and accurate regarding taking history of patient with diabetes mellitus, because diabetes mellitus is a very major topic and very detailed topic. You must cover all the aspect of the patient having a diabetes mellitus. That's why we arranged at least two lecture for taking history of a patient with diabetes mellitus. Now we will start how to take a history of patient with diabetes. Basically, keep in mind your target of taking history is a very focus for the disease of the patient is always to make a accurate or near accurate diagnosis. So if you are very much expert for the history and very keen for taking history, then easily you may make a diagnosis. So there are some few points which are important for any history and for diabetes mellitus also. It's a core art of patient care, vital piece of physician-patient encounter. It helps lead to final diagnosis in about 75% of the time. Listening is in and of itself a major therapeutic act, and physician himself is a great therapeutic instrument. So you should be very careful and very conscious regarding history. Never ever take it as a useless event. Once patient said, I am diabetic, I am taking insulin, I am taking this drug, it's not enough. Always, if patient said that he or she is diabetic, then you should be very careful for all the aspect of diabetes. If you will learn how to take a history of diabetes and you be presented accurately to your examiner of history in the context of I'm just for examination purpose. So maybe with a good history of a diabetic patient, it will give an excellent impression to your examiner. So that's you should be very expert for taking history in a diabetic patient. So never ever forget taking in this aspect history of a patient with diabetes. Patient may have other disease, that may be bronchial asthma, may have ischemic heart disease, may have some other disease with diabetes. So other than that specific primary disease, you should be very careful regarding history of patient in detail about diabetes mellitus. So after taking that specific parameter or that specific aspect, as we already discussed in history segment, number one is a introduction and consent of the patient. Introduction of the doctor or person taking history and then consent of the patient. You will start in a systemic way history of a patient with diabetes mellitus. So there are few points in form of algorithm. You should be focus over these segment for taking history. Number one, history should be regarding illness. Number two, always take history of patient personal history. It's very important. Most of the time students forget to take a personal history. So personal history in diabetic patients is very, very important. Family history is more important, especially in type 2 diabetes. So family history is very, very important. Social history also is very important. So 4 segment other than uh, presenting update, history of presenting, and past history. You should be very careful regarding these four segments: history regarding illness, personal history, family history, and social history. Regarding history, illness, as we are discussing for diabetes mellitus, we should be very keen for the type of the diabetes. Is it type 1 diabetes? Is it type 2 diabetes? Is it gestational diabetes? And duration of the diabetes, since how many years, how many months, or since how long patient suffering with that type of disease. And number 2, control of diabetes level, blood sugar level control. It should be asking for control, fasting control, postprandial control, random control. And always ask about the history of the drugs. Which drug patient taking? Is he or she is on oral hypoglycemic drug or on insulin, or both with combination therapy? So control and drug history is equally important. Number 3 component is the complication. Always ask about the complication of diabetes. Is there any present of that complication, like microvascular? We will discuss in further in detail microvascular and macrovascular complication. So you should be very careful. You should keep in mind complications of diabetes. So one by one we will discuss in further slides complication, but you should ask about the complication. And compliance of diabetes, a diabetic patient. Is he or she, suppose he is taking regularly medication, or on and off, or sometimes he is taking regularly medicine. When he or she achieve a normal glycemic control, then she may drop the drug. So compliance should be asked in detail. And how and which type of the knowledge level of the patient for the diabetes. So patient should be educated for his or her disease. So you must ask about the compliance and education for diabetes to the patient. If patient is educated from with his or disease diabetes, so it will be very helpful for good compliance and for good control, of course, for avoiding complication of that disease. And last one is comorbidities, like is there any associated disease, hypertension, dyslipidemia, or any risk factors, smoking or cardiovascular disease. So folks, these points you should ask one by one from the patient, all about for diabetes. Type of diabetes, number 1 we will already discussed. Which diabetes, is it type 1 or type 2 diabetes or gestational diabetes? So ask about it's a very easy for a student. If patient know some knowledge about diabetes mellitus, you may on the basis of history may establish is it type 1 diabetes or type 2 diabetes. And number 2 is a glycemic no, before going to glycemic control, we will move to the first segment as we highlighted type of the diabetes. Number 1 is a type 1 diabetes. Number 2 type 2 diabetes, DM-1 or DM-2. It is the most commonly used writing way to mention a diabetes. So diabetes type 1, type 2 is the most common. And secondary diabetes, that may be pancreatic, endocrinic, or drug-induced diabetes. Fourth one is a MODY, maturity onset diabetes of young patient. So it's again a type of diabetes, rare form of diabetes or other. So it's beyond the topic of our history. So we will discuss inshallah in final year for rare form of the diabetes, but keep in mind in taking history type 1, type 2 diabetes and maturity onset diabetes. Of course, when you will move in a gynecology ward, you will observe gestational diabetes. Then maybe gynecologist, you will teach this gestational diabetes. History of type of diabetes. There are some few questions which are very important for taking history. Number one, onset of symptom at the diagnosis. It may give a diagnosis, is it type 1 or type 2. If patient having onset of diabetes at the age of 15, 16 or 20, it's very clear it's the most common type 1 diabetes history. If patient says I observed or sign or symptom of diabetes or diagnosis at the age of say 40, 50, 45 or 55 year, then it's very suggestive, most likely it's a type 2 diabetes. So onset of symptom at which age was developed is very important. Then weight prior to diagnosis, what was the weight of the patient, blood glucose values and ketone at diagnosis, what was the blood sugar level at the time of diagnosis, and ketone level. Ketone may be checked by ketone for urine, and there are some ketone meter also available. You may check by serology ketone, so it must be checked level of ketone. Methods used for glycemic control, because there are some method for using, as everybody know, there are glucometer and laboratory analysis, some common. There are some maybe variables of the level, maybe instruments accuracy. So always ask about the instrument using or method used for glycemic control. And it's basically not, it's a glycemic control, basically it's a checking of method instrument. So glycemic control method mean which drug is using patient, like is he or she taking insulin or taking oral hypoglycemic drug. If patient said say I am taking oral hypoglycemic drugs, so it's very suggestive patient having a type 2 diabetes. If patient saying yes, I am taking insulin since many years, since childhood, since teenage, it's suggestive patient has a type 1 diabetes. So method of drug method of used for glycemic control, like drugs or insulin, may differentiate type 1 or type 2 disease. Then insulin dependency for survival. Again, if patient say that I must take insulin, without insulin I can't manage or I can't control my sugar level, it means it's a very insulin dependent type 1 diabetes. Without insulin, his other autoimmune disease. Ask about other autoimmune disease, there any existing with the patient, maybe association with these diabetes mellitus. So ask about the other any autoimmune disease. Family history is very important. Is any member of the family suffering with the diabetes, like mother, brother, father, uncle, or any family member? If having a very strong history, so you should be very conscious. That may help you for making a diagnosis. And unusual presentation like abdominal pain, malabsorption, Cushing face, or acromegaly, that may be first time presentation of diabetes mellitus. So always ask all these type of the question for making a type of the making a diagnosis of type of the which type of the diabetes. Now moving toward our second component is a glycemic control. How is and is levels are on regular basis, and for past 3 or 6 month level of blood sugar level is very important for checking glucose level control. So again, monitoring method, as I already discussed before, which method he or she is using for monitoring of sugar level or blood sugar level. Number one, glucometer, as very easy, portable, everywhere available. Number two, laboratory tests, is he or she giving sample to laboratory, and then by laboratory method monitoring of sugar, or HbA1c, called glycated hemoglobin. It will give you information regarding past 3 month level of glucose control, good control, poor control, or fair control. So always ask about which method patient using for monitoring of glucose level, and what is the level. Is it regularly hyperglycemia, mean always level are going to upside or always going to lower side, is called hypoglycemia. If patient having hyperglycemia, ask about the ongoing osmotic symptom and weight loss like polyuria, polydipsia, polyphagia and weight loss. Admission for hypoglycemia crisis. If patient having a persistent hyperglycemia, is there any history of hospitalization with persistent hyperglycemia? That may be complication, that may be in type 1 DKA or honk in old age patient. So you must ask about the hyperglycemia level for the making of diagnosis level to check the control of sugar level. And meanwhile you must ask about the hypoglycemia, because hypoglycemia is more crucial for diabetic patient for diabetes control, because even in 5 minutes hypoglycemia may create a very disaster, may become very critical for the patient. So always ask about the hypoglycemia. Is there any episode of hypoglycemia? If there is hypoglycemic episode, then ask about the duration, timing, severity and documentation. Then how it was relieved and what was the dietary pattern. Is it prolonged fasting, multiple episode of diet, or taking 1 or 2 time meal? So it's very important to make a diagnosis or to trace a cause of hypoglycemia. So always ask about glycemic control. It's all about history, glycemic control, history taking for the glycemic control. Now moving toward the complication of diabetes. In any patient may have a type 1 or type 2, always ask about history for complication. Now complications are divided in following segment. Number 1 is a microvascular, number 2 is a macrovascular complication, non-retinal ocular complication, gastrointestinal tract complications, musculoskeletal complication, infective complication, neuropsychiatric complication. All these, if you will think all about the this complication, it will cover almost all the system of the body. So once patient given you a history of diabetes mellitus, so it's your complementary part to cover all the aspect for the diabetes, because diabetes may cause that specific complaint. If you think this is not this is not related with diabetes, but if you will cover all these parameter, all these complication or segment in history, then that may reveal before you it may be just because of diabetes. That may be complication of diabetes, that may be poor control of glycemia, that may be poor monitoring of diabetes. So if patient said it should be in your fingertips. If patients given anytime history of diabetes, so never ever forget to ask all these cover all these parameter aspect of patient for taking history in diabetes. Now moving to the complication one by one. Microvascular complication. Microvascular complication is a most common is retinopathy, always monitored by checking fundoscopy. As you I think you are now moving from eye ward, and very difficult for online classes, but real-time classes you will observe. And of course in final year hopefully we will also go through from fundoscopy. Fundoscopy is very important. Fundoscopy give you very information for the microvascular complication. So if there is retinopathy, then it means there are some complication of diabetes. If patient say I have no single complication of diabetes, but you will start start monitoring by fundoscopy retinopathy, you will observe retinopathy, it means there are some complication. And it also gives you indirect message, maybe patient didn't noticed diabetes mellitus. So first presentation may be of a diabetic patient, maybe with complication. So retinopathy always gives you a disease severity and previous level of the disease, for how long he or she is suffering for diabetes. So always go for fundoscopy. It will give you a lot of information for diabetes, and not a diabetes, for complication of diabetes. So decreased visual acuity, sudden onset of visual loss, history of floater, previous laser treatment, headache, all about give you information regarding retinopathy. Number 2 is for microvascular complication is a nephropathy. For nephropathy, you will ask from the patient frothing of urine, recent onset hypertension, recent onset hypoglycemia, always shows any feature in history, most likely of nephropathy. So nephropathy, retinopathy is a part of microvascular complications. Now moving to the next complication is somatic neuropathy. It will give information for any complication to the sensory system, your CNS system. Number 1, positive or negative sensory symptoms, motor symptom, foot ulcer, oculomotor, truncal symptom, difficulty in walking, and darkness. If you will start asking all these of sign or symptoms for diabetic patient, then you will easily extract a history for the somatic neuropathy. So you will cover a microvascular complication. Moving to the next, autonomic neuropathy. Is there any cardiovascular? You will check ECG, you will check orthostatic dizziness. If there is, then it means there is complication of these organ involvement. Urogenital complication, increased interval between micturition. Is there any hesitancy, poor stream, erectile dysfunction, or the most likely complication of diabetes with autonomic neuropathy? And regarding gastrointestinal tract, patient having unexplained nausea, early stage, recent onset of hypoglycemia, vomitus containing few days old food material, or unexplained diarrhea, constipation, unexplained diarrhea, unexplained constipation. Always think about the complication of the diabetes. And any pseudomotor, dry skin, increased sweating, especially in head and trunk, and gustatory sweating. Always think about the microvascular complication of diabetes mellitus. Moving to the next complication is the macrovascular. Macro is a coronary artery disease that will hit your heart, with give you acute ischemic heart disease, that may be angina, that may complicate the give you patient shortness of breath, is called dyspnea, orthopnea, PND, pedal edema. These all terminology we have already discussed in cardiovascular disease and respiratory system. So you are very familiar to all these terminology. So we briefly moving to forward for taking these terminology. Pedal edema, check the pedal edema. If there is pedal edema, then think about the coronary artery disease. Early fatigability, again coronary artery disease. CV, cerebrovascular diseases. If any TIA, transient ischemic attack, rent, and stroke, dementia, transient mononuclear blindness. If there is any presence of these type of illness, so that may be complication of diabetes, which hit with the macrovascular complication. Peripheral vascular disease, any claudication of pain, foot ulcer, as a very common complication of diabetic is diabetic foot. Site, you will ask about the where is located, which type of the pain, is it gangrenous, any history of amputation, and mesenteric ischemia. It will check by, of course, by taking history, by examination, and of course finally by taking a CT scan with IV contrast. Is there any history of impotence? You will ask for the peripheral. You will think about the peripheral vascular disease complication. There are some complication of diabetes is called non-retinal ocular. Number 1, ocular mononeuropathies, dropping of eye, double vision is a complication of diabetes. always ask, always focus taking history of these. Corneal sensitivity, contact lens sensitivity, or any just sensitivity of the cornea is a it may be the complication of diabetes. Glaucoma, is there any persistent headache, vomiting, ocular pain, colored hollows and around lights? It will give a very information if you will ask about these type of the complaint. Always think about the complication of diabetes mellitus. And lens, frequent refractory shift is again complication of diabetes mellitus. Optic disc peripheral field constriction and acuity, it will give you by checking peripheral field and visual acuity. You will may easily make a diagnosis of complication of non-retinal ocular complication of diabetes mellitus. And gastrointestinal complication that may be unexplained without any cause, without any issue, maybe dysphagia, not very common, but it's always you will observe in a diabetic patient there is some dysphagia. And gastroparesis again, patient have indigestion, may saying that I have loss of appetite, whatever I take in meal, it will stay in the stomach for many time, for long time, and that's why I can't take second meal or third meal, just I'm taking once a day. So ask about these type of the question. Is there any gastroparesis or not? Diarrhea, any unexplained diarrhea, that may be nocturnal, watery, usually without pain or abdomen, without fever, without any sign of infection, maybe the just complication of diabetes. Any fecal incontinence, patient just feel there is any feeling of stool, and patient feel to go to washroom, but just from moving toward washroom, patient may feel fecal incontinence, and again it may be the sign of complication of diabetes mellitus. Abdominal pain, that may be dull pain, that may be sharp pain, and any again specific cause without unknown cause is a cause of is a complication of diabetes mellitus. So always ask about the site, duration, nature, and any relieving factor. So regarding infective, always ask about especially in the female, urinary tract infection, any dysuria, any groin pain, high grade fever, passing of fleshy material in urine, hematuria, and it is usually repeatedly recurrent urinary tract infection. If patient present with a multiple urinary tract infection, always think about the diabetes mellitus and check the blood sugar level for checking for the diagnosis of diabetes mellitus. Any genital infection, again it's more common in the female, itching in the genitalia, vulval erythema, white discharge in the female, congestive dysmenorrhea. If it's repeated in the female, must ask about the diabetes and must check the blood sugar level. Upper respiratory tract infection, nasal block, pain over sinuses or sinusitis, again upper respiratory tract infection repeatedly, may be the first presentation of diabetes or maybe the complication of diabetes mellitus. Always think about the diabetes. And again, if there is respiratory tract, that may be low respiratory tract infection, patient present with unexplained cough, sputum, there is no infection, there is no finding on examination, but patient having I have a cough. So sometimes patient may have hemoptysis, fever, weight loss, but not a very specific diagnosis in the respiratory system, but unexplained. All these features may be the just complication of diabetes, but that may be super adult infection of the respiratory tract due to poor glycemic control, because patient unaware of diabetes may present with respiratory tract infection. So always think about the diabetes mellitus. And many time patient present with cutaneous infection. So once patient with the immunocompetent status present with any cutaneous infection, sore mouth, pruritic skin, patchy, especially web spaces, thick, rough, discolored nail, always think about the diabetes. Always check about the check the blood sugar level, and if patient diabetic and have all these symptoms. So it means patient's control is not good, control is poor, and it means patient had developed all the complication of diabetes mellitus. Then poor wound healing is again a complication of diabetes. Diabetic patient always have a poor blood circulation, poor nerve supply are compromised, so may forward to the poor wound healing. Foot ulcer is a common complication of diabetes. Always ask, always think, always observe, always check. Area, pain, swelling, redness, or any history of fever. So think about foot ulcer in the patient. And always, if patient taking injection, always check the site of injection. So that may be injection that may present with the injection abscess, multiple issue of pain, and localized swelling may present with these complications. So ask about cutaneous complication. Other complications are musculoskeletal, that will be periarthritis, shoulder pain in the shoulder, limited movement, caro arthropathy, stiffness, and limited mobility of the finger, foot, hands. So these are the complications of diabetes. Neuroarthropathy, painless unilateral swelling. There is swelling of the foot or ankle, but this is painful, not painful, it's a painless. Think about the musculoskeletal complication, and you must examine the patient for having diabetes, all these type of complication. Any spinal hyperostosis is a complication of musculoskeletal system that may be due to diabetes. So you must ask, you must check any mild back pain or any limited movement of the back. So it may be the musculoskeletal complication of the diabetes. Some are the neuropsychiatric complication. So always ask about is there any issues of memories, short-term, long-term memory, that may be the dementia. Ask about this, is most likely maybe due to diabetes complication. Motor difficulty, any movement difficulty, moving, walk, long walk or stair, or upgoing or downgoing. So maybe the complication of diabetes. Any prolonged unexplained depression may be the complication of diabetes. So you must ask about the history of any depression, relation with family, relation with friends, and with his sleepy pattern, daily activity, daily pattern, daily intake pattern. You will give information regarding status of depression. So this is all about the diabetes complication. Now moving to the diabetes education. It's a single isolated topic. Inshallah, in the we have a limited time. Inshallah, we will move in the next or second lecture, diabetes education. If you have any question regarding this, taking history of diabetic patient, you are always welcome. You may ask through WhatsApp group, through Facebook group. In second lecture, we will cover rest of the segment of the history in a patient with diabetes. So we will stop up to complication. Further in second lecture we will start. Thank you very much. Okay, Allah Hafiz.